remove your hats. Veterans and active military may keep your hats on while rendering the hand salute as we honor America and our military with a singing of our national anthem sponsored by the Detroit Medical Center DMC and performed tonight from St. Peter McComb Choir, Robert Costa.
Who can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good evening, fans, and welcome to another exciting night of USPBL baseball. I'm Drew Kell, and I'll be taking you across what should be the biggest game of this 2019 season. The Mammoths and the Unicorns square off. Both teams tied for first place, sitting atop the standings, and the winner is headed to the championship game in a week. So that is what's at stake in this ball game. Both teams want it. Only one will do it. The loser of this game will be on their way to the semifinals, but you know the ultimate goal is a championship, and winning this ball game takes you a step closer to that. Quickly go through the pitching matchup and then get you to the lineups. It'll be Dan Williams and Ty Hensley. Guy in the mound right now throwing his warm-up pitches is Dan Williams, guy who's making his first start, and a big one it is. But he has been effective in a short deal of work, 2.87 ERA over 15 2/3 innings. So it'll be interesting to see how Dan Williams reacts to his first career start. And the other side, it's Ty Hensley, a guy who has 11 starts under his belt. But his ERA isn't where he'd like it. It's at 5.46, but the opponent average is at 2.11. So he's doing something right, just hasn't been rewarded yet. But that's the pitching matchup in the biggest game of the regular season. Winner, once again, moves on to the championship, and the loser to the semifinals. So Dan Williams on the bump. Let's go through the lineup that he'll be facing quickly. Coley Curry out in center field. He's batting first. Batting second, the catcher Jimmy Latona. Batting third is Dan Elliott. Batting fourth and playing right field is Ashen Barzell. Batting fifth, and playing first is Colin Rideout. Batting sixth, the designated hitter Kyle Orloff. Batting seventh and playing third, Adam De La Cruz. Playing second base, batting eighth, Kyle Bonicky. And rounding out the order for the Utica Unicorns is Malik Blaze. He's playing short this evening. And as I just mentioned, the pitcher for the Unicorns is Ty Hensley. But right now, it's Dan Williams on the bump, and he will get things going. It's a beautiful summerish, fallish day. It's kind of the transitioning period in southeast Michigan where some days it feels like summer and some days it feels like fall. Today is almost that perfect mix. It's not too hot, not too humid, low 70s. Days are getting shorter. Football season is upon us, and you know what that means. Playoff baseball is upon us as well. First pitch of the ball game in there for a strike at 7:05 p.m. Thank you for joining us. I'm Drew Kell, and we will get things going here. The 0-1. Coley Curry was out in front of that one. Quickly 0-2, and Williams working rather quickly. Curry been a staple on the top of this lineup all season long. 51 hits to his name, just under 300 on the season. One-two fastball that missed upstairs. Even now, 2-2. Coley Curry does lead the league in multi-hit games with 17 on the season. So when he hits one, expect him to hit a second. That one fouled back straight to the screen. Count remains 2-2. There is an extreme shift on Coley Curry. Second baseman Sonny Cortez in short right field. As that breaking ball is in there for strike three. First out of the ball game is recorded via the strikeout, and Dan Williams will definitely take that to start his evening. Jimmy Latona at the plate. 7 home runs for the catcher for Utica. Looks at ball one there. And, you know, Jimmy Latona is a guy who's really, you could argue he's a cornerstone in this team. He on base percentage of 400, great defender, can call a great game. A guy that really matters at this time of year as he looks at strike one there. Fans still filing in, but it's been a nice crowd, and it'll only get bigger from here. The 1-1. Fastball misses inside, 89. Cortez shades up the middle with Latona. Breaking ball missed outside. Webb Little hugging the line. Ryan Dobson playing straight up at shortstop, and then, as I just mentioned, Cortez playing shading up the middle. The 3-1 misses, ball 4.
Next up, the left fielder, number 21, Dan Elliott. Dan attended Mercyhurst University and started in every game during the 2016 and 17 seasons. Led the team in numerous offensive categories, taking them to the World Series in both years.
So a strikeout and a walk to get things started. And Dan Elliott strides in. First pitch. That one misses. Fastball misses 2-0 on Dan Elliott, who's hitting .272 entering tonight's game. Throw back, and that was a pretty big lead by Jimmy Latona at first. And Dane Williams was had seen enough. He threw one back on the pickoff attempt. Swing and a miss, 2-0 fastball, and Dan Elliott swung right through it. 2-1 the count on Dan. Latona still getting a fairly decent lead. Inches forward. Williams comes set, and Elliott fouls that one down the left side. Souvenir for a lucky fan. 2-2. Elliott, with a fairly open stance, waits on the 2-2. That one misses high. He decides to go with no batting gloves. Not common in today's day and age with batting gloves. Seems like they're all over the place, but not here. The 3-2 is fouled back. Latona was on the move, but he will have to go back. Payoff pitch once more. Latona on the move, but he can walk down to second base as that one missed. So Dan Elliott's aboard, as is Jimmy Latona, and things are getting interesting early in the first inning, and Dan Williams has to figure out a way to settle down here. Just a ground ball away from getting out of it, but does have work to do as Ashton Barzell steps in. Breaking ball missed. Barzell, a guy who has stepped in and just done a phenomenal job in his short stint. He already has 21 hits, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, and he's hitting .318. Watches that one sail outside. Did have a 10-game hitting streak at once, as now it's already a mound visit. And you're going to see managers and players treat this like it's a playoff game, and that's kind of how you have to treat this. Both these teams, if you're just joining us, are fighting for a regular season title, really, and the regular season title means you get a bye round until the championship game. So that's what's at stake. The 2-0. Little looping line drive. It's going to be caught out there by Ethan Whisker for the second out of the inning and gets it in quickly. And that's a big out there. Colin Rideout steps in, hitting 5th today and at first base. First pitch, misses inside. So Coley Curry is atop the league lead in multiple hit games. Colin Rideout right below him, and he's at 11. Or excuse me, I want to correct myself. This is atop the team leader. Do not have the league leaders in front of me. So everything I've said about league leaders at this point, Colin Rideout is second on the Unicorns. Coley Curry is first on the Unicorns in multiple hit games. Rideout, another one of these guys with an open stance, waits on the 1-1, and that one missed. 2-1 the count. Cortez once again shading up the middle. That one tapped foul behind home plate. 2-2 the count. So 1 strike away from getting out of the top of the first with no damage done. It has been a stressful inning, but he can get out of it here. That's a bouncing ball on the ground. Pull shin, flips over to Dan Williams, who is able to retire the side. So the Unicorns threaten but are not able to scratch a run across the board. So let's head to the bottom of the first now. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back. Packed house here in Utica. Ryan Dobson will get things started for the Woolly Mammoths. Looks at strike one. Fastball, that one's upstairs, even the count at 1-1. Dobson, another guy who has really been a staple at the top of the order. Did hit second for a time, now is the leadoff man. That one fouled back above the screen and onto Auburn Road. 1-2 the count on Ryan Dobson. Dobson, not a guy who's going to give you a lot of power. 1 homer on the season, but puts the ball in play. 1-2 fastball, and Ty Hensley thought he had strike 3, but instead he'll have to continue to battle Dobson. Count 2-2. That one flared down the first base line. Trouble. Is it going to get down? It will, but in foul territory. So Dobson nearly had a bloop double, but instead will have to go back. 2-2 the count remains. Mammoths at the top of team batting and team pitching, and now they're in a position to take first place in the regular season. They lead the league in team ERA, as well as team batting average, so pretty good indicator. Dobson awaits the 2-2. That one fought off into the stands. Dobson also leads his ball club in hits. That one right on cue in the gap in right center field. It's going to get all the way to the warning track. And Dobson on his way to third. The relay is going to be late. And Ryan Dobson triples, and now his ball club's in a position to get the first run of the game. Coley Curry chased it down, but not in time. The relay to short was good, but just a hair late. And wonderful job there by Dobson to hit it into the gap and stretch it out to a triple. So now Sonny Cortez. That one misses high and outside. There's a line drive, base hit. Cortez is an RBI single. Dobson can trot home. And another guy at near the top of the league leaders in hits drops one into center field. And the Mammoths off to a good start here. They lead 1-0 in the most crucial game of this USPBL season. Doesn't get any easier here. Will Johnson, the beer batter of the game. Looks at ball one there. Quick throw back, nothing doing. Cortez inching further and further. And another throw back. This one a tad bit closer, but Hensley was late. The 1-0, another soft line drive. That one's into center field for a base hit. And the Mammoths continue to hit. Will Johnson lofts that one into center. And things getting dicey for Ty Hensley. Still nobody out. And Ethan Whisker at the plate. This Mammoths lineup has just been on a tear lately, and that has continued in the first inning today. Whisker, just unreal numbers. 13 home runs, 51 hits, hitting just under 300. As Hensley may have realized it there. That one bounced in, and both the runners advance. You know, when you pitch to a guy as dangerous as Whisker, it definitely affects your rhythm. So now Whisker has 2 men in scoring position. And Hensley works out of the windup. Big swing and a miss there. It looks like he had to pull the hands in a bit too far and wasn't able to make contact. 1-1. That one skied out of play behind home plate. So after that wild first pitch, Hensley has Whisker in a 1-2 count. Interestingly, the defense isn't in with the runner on third. The 1-2. Bounces in again. This one a tad bit closer compared to the first one, but a ball nonetheless. Count even at 2-2. You don't want this to get to a predictable fastball count because that's where Ethan Whisker will do a lot of his damage. The 2-2. That one up the middle. Nice play by Bonneke. High throw is in time, but another run comes in to score. So the Mammoths extend their lead. One out in this bottom of the first inning. Here's Dan Williams, not the pitcher. Rips that one into right field, sinking, and it's down. So another run's going to come in to score. 3-0 ball game in the first inning and only one out. Unbelievable. Drew Kitson at the plate. See if he can keep it moving for the Mammoths, who appear to be on a mission tonight. And Hensley just has to find a way to limit this damage as best as he can. 3 runs already in. That one bounces, and Hensley just cannot find a rhythm. Jimmy Latona has been busy behind the plate. 1-0. Fastball misses inside. 2-0. So now you're getting to the bottom part of the lineup. Well, you're still at 6, but 7, 8, 9 is approaching, and there's still only one out. So the Mammoths could, if they continue this pace, could hit around the lineup in the first inning. That one misses upstairs. 3-0, and Hensley may lose Kitson in 4 pitches. In this extremely important matchup, the Mammoths have come out swinging. Kitson looks at ball 4. Unbelievable. So Kitson aboard. Williams on second. And Jake Barbie catching today will get his hacks with 2 men aboard. And if you played baseball, you know it's a lot easier to hit with guys on base. You see it all across professional baseball. With runners on base, it seems like the average just goes up. And another guy near 300, he's at 285 on the season in Barbie. And for your catcher, that's really all you could ask for. A guy who defends but also gives you an honest at-bat every time. Looks at strike one there, and that's a big strike for Hensley, who could really use a ground ball to end this inning. Misses low. There just hasn't been a rhythm quite yet, but it's still the first inning, and there's still time to dig yourself out of this. You don't want this to be a 1 1/3 outing. You got to eat some innings up in this ball game. That one misses as well. But at the same time, you do treat this like it's a playoff game, so you can't really mess around, as the bullpen not active yet, which it shouldn't be, but you're going to keep an eye on that in this playoff-like game, as that one's fouled back. 2-2. Malik Blaze and Kyle Bonneke up the middle. Adam De La Cruz and Colin Rideout at third base and first base, respectively. The 2-2. Oh, man. Up near the head of Barbie. Both runners will advance. And this ugly inning is close to getting even uglier for the Utica Unicorns. So the count 3-2. And Jake Barbie has 2 men in scoring position now. That one fouled on the first base line. Count still 3-2. Kitson on second, Williams standing on third. The 3-2 again. That one roped down the first base line. Foul near the bullpen. Count remains 3-2. Good swing by Barbie. Just a touch out in front of that. And we'll do it again. The 3-2. That's on the ground once again down the first base line. And this time a grounder, but it found its way in the exact same spot it was last pitch. So Jake Barbie just a touch out in front of this. I'd like to see him let it travel a bit more and think up the middle. But all these swings by the Mammoths have been very comfortable. The 3-2. Ball 4. That one was close. Hensley desperately needed it, but instead, the bases are loaded. So Jake Polshin at the plate now. You have Barbie on first. You got Kitson standing at second. And you have Dan Williams at third with Jake Polshin at the plate. And now it's time to bring the whole infield in and talk about this. Hensley has not made it easy on his ball club to this point, but still just a ground ball away from getting out of it. And I know it's 3 runs, and that's not what you want, but all things considered, if you were to get a double play and get out of this inning, you'd feel pretty good about yourself. Because 3 runs is very manageable to get back across the rest of this game. You just don't want it to get to 5, 6 runs. Polshin looks at ball 1. So this strike zone, a little tight for Ty Hensley's liking, but he's got to figure it out here. Coley Curry shading towards left center field allows that big gap in right center, and we've already seen a triple in that area. Is that one in there for a strike? We've seen a triple to right center already, and if you hit one to right center, it's most likely going to clear the bases. Swing and a miss. Polshin aggressive with that swing, but it's 1-2. Here's the 1-2. That one up in the air, should be infield fly. Let's see if it's called. And it has been called, so the batter is out. And a big out it was. 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Webb Little at the plate. A very calm evening. It's a crisp evening, but no wind. And it does kind of feel like a fall day in Michigan. That one misses low. Some people love that. Some people not so much. Depends who you ask. That one misses, so it's 2-0. And there's nowhere to put the batter, Webb Little. Hensley delivers, ground ball, second base. Should be routine, and it is for Kyle Bonneke. So, Ty Hensley does do a nice job of limiting the damage, although 3 runs come across for the Woolly Mammoths. The Unicorns have some work to do. We'll be back for the second inning. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Dan Williams back to work in the top of the second inning. He'll face Kyle Orloff for the Unicorns, who need to get back into this game as soon as possible. You don't want to waste time in this large of a game. It's 1-0. Breaking ball just missed, 2-0. We know it's a long game. We know it's not over yet, but that was a big inning right there by Westside. Breaking ball and a good one in there for a strike. That one ripped down the left field line. It's trouble, and it's down. One hop off the wall. Will Johnson gets it in, and it's going to be a long single for Kyle Orloff, who ripped that off the wall. Sometimes you just hit it too hard. I can't say I've ever experienced that, but Kyle Orloff just did as he ripped that one just inside the line as it hopped across the Motor City Casino sign in left field. And a good start to the inning for the Unicorns. Adam De La Cruz steps in, looks at ball one. De La Cruz cues one down the first baseline. Foul. De La Cruz hasn't had many at-bats. He does have 3 hits in 20 plate appearance, in 20 at-bats, excuse me. That one center field right at Kitson, who hauls it in for the first out of the inning.
Next up, the second baseman, number 9,
Kyle Bonneke trying to get his ball club back into the game. That one missed outside breaking ball that just didn't get across the zone. 1-0. In there for a strike. One and one. And we'll miss 2-1. Both these pitchers moving very quickly. You see that often in this league. Pitchers don't waste a lot of time. You turn on the TV and you watch some of the big leaguers, and they love to take their time, but not in this league, which is awesome. As that one fooled Bonneke, breaking ball, strike 2. The 2-2. Hit high in the air, center field, not deep. Kitson takes a couple steps in, under it, makes the catch for the second out.
Now batting the shortstop, number 20, Malik Blaze.
Malik Blaze steps up. 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. Breaking ball just caught the corner, strike 1. Williams sets and misses that one high. Malik Blaze, another one of these newcomers to the league. He has struggled in limited at-bats, but that's really too small of a sample size as he swings through that one. 1 and 2 with 2 outs. One, 2. Bouncing ball. Throw to second is not in time. So good job there to get across to second base. That was Kyle Orloff, who As soon as that ball hit the ground, he took off, and he got to second base where he didn't get to second base on the hit off the wall. He does get there eventually. That one, tap, tough play. Throw across the diamond is in time. Great play by Ryan Dobson to get Malik Blaze out at first. So score remains 3-0. We'll be back with more. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Ryan Dobson, who made a nice play to finish out the top half of the second, will lead it off in the bottom half of the second. Hensley gets back to work. That one misses outside. Hensley did give up 3 runs in that first inning, but was able to limit the damage. So when you have all things considered, not as bad as it could have been. That one a mile high in the sky. Who's going to take it? It looks like it's going to be Malik Blaze to haul it in for the first out of the inning, and it is. Sonny Cortez steps in. Another one of the guys in the middle infield for the Mammoths. Another one of these guys who has just hit all season long and already has an RBI single in this ball game. Hensley steps off, not comfortable. Now back to work. Cortez looks at strike one, and I'm not sure he agreed. Oh, 1. That one misses outside, even the count at 1-1. Cortez, I mentioned it earlier, but he is really near the top in so many categories in this league offensively. That one lifted shallow left center field. 3 unicorns converging, and it'll be Dan Elliott who eventually hauls it in for the second out of the inning. Will Johnson, the beer batter of the game, already has a base hit. Looks at ball 1. That one ripped into left field for a base hit. Will Johnson just giving these fans what they want. 16-ounce beer for $5. That's craft beer, excuse me. So getting some high-quality stuff. Still 20, so I don't know too much about that. Ethan Whisker, you could argue, is probably the most dangerous hitter in this league at the plate. Oh, man, hits it a mile high. I can't see it. Fans. Oh, man. That one. I have never seen a ball that close to the press box. That landed in the back row. If I was sitting with the window open, I may have been able to reach out and catch that. Sorry I wasn't able to give you great commentary on that because I couldn't see it until it landed in the last row. I saw a bunch of fans look back at me, and about 5 seconds later, the ball landed in the seats. That was, I know it was just a foul ball, but that just shows you how powerful he is. He hit that a mile high. Looks at a ball there, 1-1. Hensley out of the stretch. Whisker stays in the box, but that one missed inside, 2-1. Foul back, 2-2. Whisker with an aggressive cut there. Mammoths lead 3-0 as we're in the bottom of the second inning, and with maybe the most dangerous hitter in the league at the plate. Throw back, not in time. Hensley, the 2-2 once again. On the ground, fair ball. Whisker looks like he has extra bases. He'll take a wide turn and head to second. Throw to third, not in time. Ethan Whisker continues his amazing season with a double there. And Will Johnson scampers to third base. So Williams a chance to put another dent into the scoreboard. Already has an RBI. That one in there for a strike. Malik Blaze shades up the middle as Williams was lunging for that one. Quickly 0-2. Here is the 0-2. That one skied shallow left field. Elliott under it to make the catch and retire the side. So the Mammoths aren't able to extend the lead any further. That's a big inning for the Utica Unicorns. We'll be back with more top of the third coming up on the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back to beautiful Utica, Michigan. Top of the lineup for the Unicorns, trying to get back into this game. Coley Curry leads things off. Rips one foul, heads up down there as it hits some umbrellas. Curry 0 for 1 with a strikeout so far today. But if he gets a board, he could be the catalyst to get this run started. Ground ball right into the shift. Gobbled up. Throw to first is in time by Cortez for the first out of the inning. So they have the analytics, that's for sure, as Cortez was positioned right where he was needed to be for the first out of the inning. Jimmy Latona, the catcher, steps up. Base on balls his first time, and he looks at ball one there. That one just missed. Ball two. Approaching 8 o'clock here in this monumental game for both of these teams. 2-0 on the ground, third base, gobbled it up. Throw to first, a little. Retires Latona for the second out of the inning. So I mentioned it's a monumental game, and I've explained it a couple times, and I'll explain it a few more throughout the telecast in case you're just tuning in. So, both of these teams are atop of the standings, tied for first place. The winner of this ball game will head straight to the championship next week, while the loser will be in good shape as that one's fouled down the first base line. The loser of this game will still be in good shape. They'll head to the semifinals game, but the ultimate goal is to win a championship. And by winning this game, you make it a heck of a lot easier to get to that goal. So that's kind of where these teams are right now. The Mammoths put up 3 in the first inning, and that's where we stand right now. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Dan Williams retires Dan Elliott. And a quick inning as we head to the bottom of the third. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back. Mammoths at the plate in the third inning. Drew Kitson gets things started. That one fouled off the foot of Drew Kitson, and he is in some pain right now. Hensley back to work, trying to salvage this start after a rough first inning, to say the least. He is shaking up, trainer onto the field. Let's hope he's okay, because if you played baseball, you know that that is not a fun feeling at all. He's going to try to walk it off. You hope he can. And it appears that he will. Kitson has walked today already. The 0-1. Breaking ball missed well outside. College football fans, I'm sure you know college football is back. Both teams in this great state are in action this weekend. Michigan State winning yesterday as Kitson fouls that back, and the Michigan Wolverines playing right now as they actually trail Middle Tennessee 7-3 midway through the first quarter. Kitson waiting on the 1-2. Looks like he went. Excuse me, I'm wrong on that one. He did not go. 2-2 is the count. Hensley ready. Fastball missed inside. Run the count full. So the pitch count starting to pile up. No outs here. Kitson leads it off for the Mammoths. Ripped just foul down the third base line. Kitson, the average isn't where he'd like it, but he does have some serious pop in that bat. 9 home runs on the season. The 3-2 again. That one ripped to shortstop. Nice play. Across the diamond in time. Wonderful defense right there by Malik Blaze. In the hole, ranging to his right. Off-balance throw to get a speedy Kitson, although he is a little shaken up, but still a great play by Blaze. This Unicorns defense has to be absolutely precise from here on out. First pitch way upstairs. To Jake Barbie, another guy who has walked in his first plate appearance. That one in there for a strike, 1-1. Fastball just missed the corner. Nightfall just about upon us. Sun setting very shortly, although there's a lot of cloud cover, which makes it appear even darker as 2-1 on the way. Check swing. Doesn't matter who was in there for a strike. A couple months ago, it'd be perfectly light out. But right now, darkness is basically here. That one nearly hit Barbie. Skirts out of the way. And it's 3-2. So another full count. Hensley desperately needs to get some quick outs. Shift is on. Bonneke playing deep in right field. Swing and a miss. Got him on strikes. A much-needed strikeout there for Ty Hensley for the second out of the inning. Jake Polshin at the plate. Houston Baptist University product. So after the first inning, Ty Hensley has settled down to this point as he bends in a breaking ball there for strike one. The 0-1. Check swing. Didn't go. 1-1. Fans in the suites, fans in the bathrooms, thank you for joining us at Jimmy John's Field on this gorgeous August night. Almost feels like a September, October night. That one missed inside. 2-1. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Polshin was out in front of that. And it's evened up at 2. Polshin, one of the guys that the defense just plays straight up, which we haven't seen a lot of today. 2-2 breaking ball, no good. That one misses. Run the count full. The 3-2. High fly ball. Left field. Fairly deep. Not deep enough. Elliott now coming in a couple of steps to haul it in to end the top of the third. Or excuse me, the bottom of the third. We head to the fourth, and we'll be back with more on the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back. Ashton Barzell will start things off for the Unicorns here in the top of the fourth inning. In there for a strike, 0-1. Breaking ball and a good one by Dan Williams. But it did miss. Check swing didn't go. That one in there for a strike 1 and 2. Looked like a changeup that just missed. 2-2 the count now. Bardzell, a guy who has come into the league and just hasn't stopped hitting. 21 hits in his action as that one swung on and missed for strike 3. Dan Williams doing a phenomenal job so far, although he will have to get deep into this ball game, but so far so good. And 1 out in the top of the 4th inning. First pitch makes it 0-1. Colin Rideout swung right through that fastball. That's in their first strike quickly. 0-2 on Rideout. Bouncing ball foul down the right field line. Ball boy out to retrieve it. Still 0-2. Williams waits for the sign. Out of the windup. That's a line drive center field. Sinking. Kitson makes a shoot top catch. What a catch by Drew Kitson, who for a minute looked like he was going to let it drop in for a base hit, but he was kind of like, look what I found. Kyle Orloff steps in. He singled off the wall his last plate appearance. This one lofted to right field. Tough play. It's going to get down. Whisker will have to play it off a hop. And Orloff has 2 hits to start his evening. Both hits, actually. Dan Williams has done a fabulous job. Aside from that, really, you can't blame him for that. That was just a bloop in the right spot, but Orloff did single firmly against the wall. Adam De La Cruz, 0 for 1, as are many of these unicorns. Looks at strike 1. Quick throw back. Pickoff attempt nowhere near in time. We apologize for the technical difficulties. We are hoping that there will be no more throughout the remainder of the broadcast. That one misses ball 1, 1-1 the count on Adam De La Cruz. De La Cruz to short, and Ryan Dobson will make the easy play and step on the bag at second base to retire the side. 3.5 innings through, score 3-0 in favor of the Mammoths. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Webb Little will get things started for the Mammoths, who already have a 3-0 lead, and will look to add on here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Rich Borland, a familiar voice, will join me for who knows how long. We'll see, but Rich Borland is on the call with me. So, Rich, it's good to have you.
Appreciate it, as always, Drew. And obviously, I was out in the patios helping everybody out with the parties and such, but taking a quick look, got to see, bits and pieces of the game so far, and saw Dobson's triple early on in the contest. That was quite a shot. Haven't seen a lot of triples this season for really any players. Nick Campana with a couple, as well as Dobson, but for the most part, in a big-time game season on the line in terms of trying to get that bid to the championship, and you do get an extra base hit of that variety to get your team started off at the top of the order, kind of how the night started, and haven't really felt any different since then.
Yeah, the 2-1 lofted into right center. Should be routine, and it is out there, hauled in by Ashton Barzell. But, yeah, Rich, you mentioned the triples. When you look at this ballpark, you don't think triples. You see the gaps, and they're pretty shallow. Out in right center field, it's nothing too crazy. Left center field, the same. But, yeah, if you're going to hit a triple in this ballpark, you have to leg it out.
Yeah, without a doubt, the only way you're really going to get a triple in this league is a combination of two things. One, a great amount of speed, clearly. And then two, you got to hit it somewhere in the gap, usually that right center field area where it kind of dives back halfway through from right to center field. As Hensley continuing to go to work here, trying to take a look overall at the box score. I mean, you gave up the 3 in the first, but Drew, how's he looked in terms of attacking these guys with the strike zone since he's given up those 3 in the beginning of the game?
Rich, he looked very flustered in the first inning, and he has settled down nicely to this point. He hasn't really had much command of his breaking ball to this point, but it's gotten better progressively as the game's gone on. And he's just been able to gut out these innings just enough to where he's kept this game in check. Because 3 runs, it's not the worst case scenario right now for the Utica Unicorns. That one fought off. 2-2 the count. Dobson, 1 for 2 with that triple you just mentioned, and fighting off that nice fastball from Ty Hensley, the 2-2. Breaking ball on the ground to second. Bonneke has to throw it firmly over to first to retire Dobson, and I think we just saw why Dobson had that triple. He got down the line quick.
Yeah, he's got plenty of speed, and it looked like Rideout almost had an issue corralling that baseball, but he stuck to it, held it enough to get the put out at the first base bag. And one thing I just noticed, Drew, there's really 2 halves to the lineup for Ty Hensley that he's worked against. You got Dobson through Williams, the first 5 in this lineup. Each of them at least have a hit. Will Johnson with the 2 as the beer batter of the game, but no one from Kitson through Little has a base knock so far tonight.
That one tapped to first. Rideout will take it himself, and it's in time to end the 4th inning. So, no runs once again. It's been the theme since that first inning. We'll be back with more. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back. Kyle Bonneke gets things started for the Unicorns, who are still trying to get together some sort of rally against Dan Williams. And Rich, you have some numbers in front of you. What has Dan Williams done to this point?
Yeah, Dan Williams, 4 innings, just the 2 hits allowed, both to Kyle Orloff, one of the newer faces in the league. 2 walks allowed, 3 strikeouts, 65 pitches coming into the 5th here. So you get through the 5th, maybe 4 or 5 batters at most. Got an opportunity to come out for the 6th inning, get that quality start. But in the end, if he gets through the 5, obviously in line for the victory without the quality start. But as far as the night has gone so far, I don't expect anything to change for Dan Williams. And that's the beauty of this game. Anything's possible at any given time. There's no clock out there, so the Unicorns have plenty of time to come back in this ball game, and we've seen them string for a lot of runs in just 1 inning of play. Westside with 3 in 1 inning tonight, so you have plenty of time left to try and make something happen, as the Westside William Mammoths also got 4 runs.
Oh, diving play there at first base by Polshin. Throw to first is in time. Dan Williams covered the bag nicely, but what a play by Jake Polshin.
He has shown the glove time and time throughout the season. Was playing in the right spot, got a good jump off the bat, dove to his right, made the play honestly look easier than it was, because it was not for certain.
Yeah, it was a sharply hit ball off the bat of Kyle Bonneke.
And one thing I wanted to mention, actually, we're going to mention it a little bit later, but Ethan Whisker is having some type of season this year and in the running for the MVP, had his 13th home run.
That is unbelievable.
Last night.
How many games?
In total, I'd say
so?
about right around 50. I would say it's below 50. It's about mid-40s, 45, 46 games.
So if you were to extrapolate that to a Major League season,
yeah,
you're talking about definitely in the 40s in the home runs, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Maybe 50s?
Yeah.
I'm sure we could do the math, but I know neither of us are math majors.
Right.
The 0-2 to Blaze. Tap to third. Throwing to first for Little is in time for the 2nd out of the inning.
And I'll tell you what, got to give credit to Polshin. He allows that ball to get past him. Obviously could have had an opportunity to turn 2 with that ground ball to Little, but you never know what leads to something else. He gets a base knock. Maybe that leads to something else there for the batter, but in the end, they get 2 quick outs on some ground outs to the corners, and you see the shift in play again. Sonny Cortez, who made a play on a ground out from Curry in that exact same spot earlier tonight, in the same spot to try and make it happen again with 2 outs and nobody on.
Curry has some speed. Why not lay a bunt down?
Yeah.
I mean, if you could lay a bunt down, you're almost going to end this shift immediately. It's 0-1.
I could see it maybe with nobody out. Nobody on, but with nobody on, 2 outs.
I mean, if you put it down the
you're
third baseline,
you're there.
You're
there for sure. But Cole Lee, I mean, he's had a good season. He's batting right below 300. So
once again, into the shift. Polshin flips over to Williams to retire the side. So Coley Curry has hit into that shift a couple times today. As we finish things up in the top of the 5th, we'll be back with more on the USPBL YouTube channel. Will Johnson leads things off in the 5th inning for the Woolly Mammoths, and Will Johnson's a fan favorite tonight for one big reason. He's a beer batter of the game, and he's already had 2 hits. Fastball catches the corner, so Hensley back to work, and really he's done an impressive job of gutting his way back into this ball game.
Yeah, 2 walks, 3 earned runs coming into this inning. Just the one
that
strikeout
one,
there.
Driven. Should stay in the park, and it will. Oh, man, he just missed it. I think he just hit it on the end of the bat, or just not. He did not barrel it up, but stayed in the ballpark for out number 1.
Yeah, he's cheesing running back there to the dugout. He knew that he just missed that baseball, and, hey, you know what? Can't have a perfect night. 2 for 3 with the 2 knocks so far, and trying to make something happen here for the team. Came close to it, but he scored one of the 3 runs, so he's definitely playing his part tonight. Speaking of playing your part, here comes the possible MVP of the season in Ethan Whisker.
I'd say it's hard to vote against him with those 13 bombs. I mean, has there been a guy with 13 home runs in the league? Because I don't remember anyone coming close to that number.
I'm thinking maybe Nick Wilson.
In year 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And one thing I wanted to mention, and a good segue here, is Whisker takes the breaking ball for called strike 1. Whisker had the home run last night, so big time. Of course, Matt Cripsey getting the stats in there. 17 home runs in 2016 there for Nick Wilson.
See, I've been a part of the USPBL every year but 1.
Oh, boy.
Well, there's 14. Way back, left field, and it is out of here. Way gone. Ethan Whisker, right on cue, hits a bomb. So the impressive season continues, and I think he's making a case for MVP.
So if you didn't hear just now, John Grabb, our public address announcer, and that was what I was going to get to if Ethan Whisker maybe battled in the count a little more. But yes, Nick Wilson in 2016 had 17 home runs. 2017 he had 8. And Ethan Whisker just tied him last night and puts himself.
This one hit high and deep, left center field. This one back to the track and corralled right in front of the wall. Wow. But, Rich, finish your point. Sorry, these guys keep hitting.
They're swinging a very good bat, but that's kind of what they've done all year long. But, yeah, so Nick Wilson had the USPBL record in terms of a tenure, not a single season, but an overall career in the USPBL. And Ethan Whisker tying him for first place overall. Can he get one more this season? That would solely put him in the conversation of one of the greatest of all times in this league. But here comes Drew Kitson, who I'm not sure if you know or not, Drew, but he got hurt early in the season. He was here for maybe a couple of weeks, but he ended up hurting himself very badly, was out for a couple of months this year, comes back, and in a span of 75 at-bats in his return, he had 9 home runs.
Well, I'm looking up there at the screen. It says 9 home runs, 18 hits.
Yeah.
So if Drew Kitson has a base hit, there's a 50% chance it's a home run. Doesn't do it here. Swings and misses through that breaking ball. Good pitch by Hensley. Does give up a homer to Ethan Whisker. Scores now 4-0 in favor of the Mammoths. We head to the top of the 6th inning. We'll be back with more on the USPBL YouTube channel. Jimmy Latona will get things started for the Unicorns, who got to get something going quickly. Rich, the game, it's 9 innings, but we're kind of getting down to the wire here if you want to make a run at this one.
Just 4 base runners allowed tonight for Dan Williams. Jimmy Latona being one of them. He did walk earlier on in this contest, as it's been basically Kyle Orloff outside of the 2 walks. Latona with 1, and then Elliott right behind him, the former college teammates at Mercyhurst University, trying to get that championship that they were close to getting last year. Both of them were playing really well down the stretch. They're doing that again here this year, but obviously you don't feel the same finishing not on top. So trying to make a comeback here, but only 2 hits through the 5 first innings. Obviously you got to start trying a different game plan. Try and get the leadoff man on. This is a very big part of the game, even though we're only halfway through.
Yeah, and if you look where we are, the lineup, 2, 3, 4. So this is the time to get something started. That one, and left field for a base hit. Will Johnson has to pick it up after a hop, and a good start to the inning. Jimmy Latona gets things started the right way.
Very, very needed base knock there. 3rd single of the night for the Corns, and here comes Dan Elliott, guy who's got plenty of opportunity in his hands right here and now.
One of those base runners you mentioned earlier. One thing I've noticed in this ballgame, Williams has been very cautious when a guy does get on base, as he throws back again here. Bunt attempt, pulls it back, and that one missed outside. So small ball perhaps, or maybe just trying to get a guy out of his rhythm, but whatever the case may be, it's ball 1.
Elliott seems like the last kind of guy that's going to lay one down, but sometimes situation presents itself.
That one line sharply into left field, base hit. Latona trying to get to 3rd, now puts on the brakes, nearly falls down, and heads back to 2nd. So Latona stops at 2nd. Elliott, sharp single to left field, and this could be the time where the Unicorns make a run at it. Still only 4 runs. That's nothing too crazy to come back from.
Ashton Bardzell 0 for 2, already has a strikeout tonight. He's playing right field. He's an outfielder, so this situation definitely presents a possible sacrifice bunt. You got both Colin Rideout and Kyle Orloff due up on deck. Rideout has been tremendous this season, as he's got, I can't remember the exact number, but he's got about somewhere around a hit in his last 18 to 21 games or something around that sort of numbers. I don't have as much prep work as I normally would for a game, but between Rideout and Orloff with the only 2 hits coming into this inning tonight, and then Rideout, a hot bat, one of the hottest bats over the month of August. The next 2 guys up, Ashton Bardzell, like I said, 0 for 2 with the K. He does have a .318 average on this season, but again, situations present itself. We'll see what happens in this scenario here with Williams still trying to cruise along.
So if you're just joining us, you may know the stakes already, but I'll go through it once more. Winner of this game heads to the championship game next weekend, while the loser is in the semifinals. That one on the ground could be 2. Dobson, Cortez across the diamond in time, and that's a big time double play. Wow. That can kill a rally.
And I'll tell you what, with that speed that baseball was hit to Dobson, he had to make a split-second decision, because he could have tried to get Latona as the lead runner at 3rd and then get the put out at first base for the double play, but he tried to go with it the conventional route, tossed it over to his buddy Cortez up the middle, and they end up getting 2 for the price of 1. But a base knock from Rideout will drive in a run for the Corns. But hey, you know what? You'll take 2 outs on 1 play any given time, and with the 4-run cushion, you can allow maybe this 1 run to score if Rideout does in fact have a successful at-bat here.
Yeah, well, Rideout, this is the biggest at-bat of the game in my mind so far, as if you get a base hit, you chip into this lead, and if you can't make anything happen, the rally's over, and you got to start from scratch next inning. So this is a big-time AB for Colin Rideout. The 2-0 tapped off his leg. Appears to be okay. 2-1 the count on Colin.
He's been a consistent hitter this year. Doesn't have a lot of power, just the 1 home run overall, but 54 hits in 46 games. Some good stats right there for number 10 as he looks at the third ball of the at-bat. So here's a scenario, 3-1 count. You know that the pitcher's going to be trying to throw you a strike here as he doesn't want to end up having the guy come up to the plate that's already got 2 hits tonight with an opportunity with runners on the corners. He's going to go right after him here.
3-1. Ooh, foul back to the screen. Had some fans flinching out of the way. Full count now. So, I mean, you're probably getting a fastball here. And you just got to get ready and hit it.
One thing for Utica, they got 4 men left on base tonight. Can't afford a 5th.
That one looped foul out of play.
I know I mentioned it to you last night after the contest, Drew, but Beavers last night losing by just the 1 run. They left 13 base runners on base last night. Something that, that is when you leave double-digit men on base, you never deserve to win a ball game.
That one on the ground, shortstop. Dobson rounds it, throws across the diamond, in time! Looked like Jake Polshin's foot may have come off the bag, but unfortunately we don't have the luxury of instant replay review, so that'll do it. And the Unicorns squander another opportunity. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back. Bottom of the 6th inning. Mammoths looking to extend their lead, while Ty Hensley looking to keep the score right where it is. First pitch inside. Barbie with a walk. Came in hitting .285. And looks at strike 1 there.
Tell you what, some big-time hits. Ethan Whisker already with a double and a home run. Just continuing to prove that MVP case.
1-1. Skied shallow left field. Elliott waits under it and makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
Takes up the first baseman, number 7, Jake Polshin.
Jake Polshin, 0 for 2 today. That one bounces in for ball 1.
Yeah, Polshin over the last couple of nights making some big-time defensive plays. Hasn't really had too many great nights up at the plate. He was batting about 340 at one point this season, but second half kind of dwindled down a bit. But
Broken bat, or the bat just fly out of his hands. Elliott under it nonetheless. I only see one part of the bat. It did break.
he's holding the other half.
Oh.
He took it with him.
I was going to say, usually you see both fly out, but an out nonetheless. It was a lazy fly ball to left field. So Polshin's struggles continue. Third baseman Webb Little at the plate. Another guy 0 for 2 fouls that one back out of play. Two outs, 0-2 on Webb Little. Another one fouled back. So Little stays alive.
And I'll tell you what, this would be a big-time inning for Ty. Quick 1-2-3, bottom of the order, take care of business, no issues. Might not look to it to the human eye or to the naked eye in the stands about how much that makes a difference for your team offensively the next time around, but they're only out there in the field for a matter of minutes. You come back out and try and get right back on the horse at hitting and see if you can string something together because they desperately needed to with the bottom half of the order coming up, starting with Kyle Orloff in the next half inning.
Swung on a miss there, and you were right on cue there. Hensley able to get his offense back on the field shortly, and that is big for the Unicorns. We'll be back with more. Unicorns will get another shot to chip into this lead on the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back. Ben McKendall taking the bump now for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. And first of all, we're going to go through Dan Williams' line. 6 innings, scattered 4 hits, did not allow a run, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. So a wonderful job by Dan Williams to give his team a good chance to win the ball game. He gives way to Ben McKendall, who pitches to Orloff, pops it up, Three Mammoths converging. Who's going to take it? It's Whisker at the last second, corralled it, but that's a scary play.
Yeah, that between Kitson and Whisker, those two, they were both right on top of it, and Whisker ends up coming up with it, but that could have very well ended in a collision. But back to McKendall, the Los Angeles, California product coming into this one. He's had a really kind of tale of two halves for the 2019 season. Started as kind of the 1-2 punch, the two-punch, if you will, between him and Matt Cronin. But so far this last couple of outings, he's really struggled as Malik Blaze brings this count even, Adam De La Cruz brings this count even to 1-1.
And speaking of struggle, that last curveball did not look comfortable, bounced about 6 feet in front of home plate. De La Cruz, no hits on the ball game today. Awaits the 1-1. On the ground, up the middle, into center field. De La Cruz is 1 for 3 with a base hit here in the top of the 7th inning.
Much needed knock right there. Somewhere getting towards the bottom of this order. If they can string a couple together for the top half, that would be a huge help. But taking a quick look at the stats here for McKendall on the season, 3.57 ERA with a 5-4 record through 11 games. This is his first relief outing on the season. That's kind of what I wanted to attest to, as he pitched in 11 games, but over the last couple, he has had an absolute tough time. And his last start, Drew, he got through inning number 1, but got 0 outs in the 2nd inning.
Oh, man.
And got taken out of the game, allowed about 5 or 6 runs, and he's in a scenario where the Unicorns still have technically 7-8 outs left to give in this ball game, but they got to make something happen in either the 7th or the 8th to try and get them at least a little bit closer to tying this ball game.
Pickoff attempt, not in time, as Bonneke at the plate. See if the bottom of the order can be the spark plug. Just 1 run in this inning would be huge, just to chip into it at all. As that one's in there for a strike. The 0-2, fastball misses outside.
Not a bad try there from McKendall. Got ahead quickly 0-2. Tried to throw something, fastball away, forced Bonneke to chase after it, but he does not go after, and we'll see what De La Cruz thinks about over on the first base bag. If he wants to go for it, he stays put.
1-2, Bonneke, foul ball off his own leg. One and 2. Pickoff attempt once again not in time.
De La Cruz does have 1 stolen base on the year in just 1 attempt.
That one stuck out the bat, left field, trouble, base hit. Johnson was not able to get there. He was shaded in left center field, and that ball dropped harmlessly in left for a base hit.
I'm telling you, that is the name of the game. You try your best to just put the ball in play. Down with 2 strikes in the count, he just stuck the bat out, put it in between the lines, and it was by no means pretty, but you're on base, runners on first and second, just the 1 out on the board, and Malik Blaze coming up to the plate with a gigantic opportunity for his team.
Yeah, gigantic may be an understatement right now. At this stage in the season, this stage in the game, you got to have a big hit, and Blaze would be definitely an unsung hero, because you don't expect it. You expect it from the big guys in the lineup, but this is kind of the time of year where it's not just big names who come up with big hits. It's got the role players like Blaze.
And I'll tell you what, obviously that batting average nowhere near where he'd like it to be. 167 and 11 starts this year, but that's the beauty of baseball. Numbers don't matter when you're in between the lines, and opportunity to make something happen.
That one misses. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Good pitch there by McKendall.
Yeah, a lot of late drop on that pitch. You saw the healthy cut from Blaze as he swings right through that pitch. And if I'm McKendall, I'd take notice of it. I'd throw another off-speed pitch, kind of that same variety, force him to have another swing like that. But right on cue, Blaze, with the smart decision, calls time, trying to slow McKendall down, get him out of this little rhythm against him here.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Big time strikeout there. Blaze goes back to the dugout, and you still haven't got that big hit yet.
And I'll tell you what, I was having a quick conversation with McKendall yesterday in their game against the Beavers. As, you know, McKendall and Cronin, the two guys at the top of the rotation for a majority of the season, found out McKendall wasn't going to get the start in the game tonight, and he was fairly disappointed after his last couple outings. Hadn't gone his way. He kind of got demoted into the bullpen role. But, hey, would you look at that in a scenario where you're basically going to pitch half the game? Because I don't see why they would take him out, you know, unless he gives up a run.
He pitches starters innings, right? So, yeah, why not ride him out the rest of the way?
Brought the boys up here. Sweet.
Coley Curry at the plate. Quickly down 0-2.
And I'll tell you what, Curry, you know, even though he's down 0-2 in this count, he's a guy you can never give up on. He's a guy who always tries to approach the ball up the middle, and you see the shift here. Dobson, the shortstop, playing in the second base position, and Cortez again out there in shallow right field.
That one back to the mound. McKendall had some trouble with it. Now flips it across to first for the third out of the inning. So once again, the Unicorns threaten but do not score. Heading now stretch time here at the ballpark. We'll be back with more on the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back. Hensley already threw 100 pitches, back to work. And for a guy who gave up 3 in the first inning, you got to applaud his guts to get back into this game.
Yeah, it's tough that he hasn't been able to get any offensive support behind him. But yes, at the moment in time, through the first 6 innings tonight, 100 pitches on the button. And I'll tell you what, he's a guy who's going to give you every ounce of his effort. Mentioned how he was the first-round draft pick by the New York Yankees back in 2012. He's a complete workhorse. And earlier this year, I believe it was early July, where Hensley threw 200. Go ahead.
That one ripped left field fairly deep, but it's going to stay in the ballpark. Elliott under it for the first out.
So Dobson's retired, something that's not fairly easy to do after that leadoff triple tonight. But earlier this year, Hensley threw 208 pitches in a span of 4 days. He threw on a Sunday afternoon contest and then started the game again on Thursday the following week and had over 100 pitches in each outing. So he's a guy who's going to give you everything he's got. Worst case scenario, if the Corns do lose this game tonight, that means they'll finish technically in second place in the overall standings on the season. But, you know, Ty Hensley, that means they would be pitching on Saturday next week, so that's a full week of rest. You better believe Ty Hensley is most likely going to get this start again in the game on Saturday. Only question you could see there is Don Goodson, who has pitched very well again this year. Batters averaged against below 200. As Cortez looks at ball one, but between the two of the guys, you're going to be happy with whoever ends up going out there for you in the semis, if that ends up being the stage that they'll have to play on next weekend.
Cortez looks at a ball. It's 2-1. But, yeah, I think Hensley has kind of established himself as the ace of this staff. I mean, just today, just battling back is pretty incredible. Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Cortez, who has an RBI single so far in this ball game.
I mean, 4 hip surgeries, 2 Tommy Johns over the course of your career.
It's unreal.
At the age of 26, still trying to go after it and fight, father time, if you will. But Ty Hensley is a great person, a great baseball player, and you wish nothing but the success for him. And I'll try and give a cool little story pending what happens in this pitch here to Cortez.
The 3-2 on the way. Ball 4, Cortez scampers down to first base.
So Cortez gets the walk. And to get to this story about Hensley, so mentioned how he's a first-round draft pick by the Yankees in 2012. Part of the reason he got to that stage was because in a high school game, there was about over 150 scouts there to simply watch this kid play in a high school game. Just think about that kind of stage. It was in a district or regional championship game where Ty Hensley not only hit a home run from both sides of the plate, but he threw a no-hitter in the contest. And having a day like that, you understand why you get drafted in the first round by the New York Yankees.
What else do you need to see after that?
You literally couldn't have done better except maybe no walks.
A home run from both sides of the plate, first of all, and then
No-hitter.
obviously the no-hitter is incredible, but wow.
Billy Beane was in attendance that day.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You know Billy Beane played for the Tigers?
I did know that.
That's just a fact that I learned a couple weeks ago.
Not a lot of games, but
yeah, just a
he was
very
there.
brief stint. Will Johnson at the plate now, 2 for 3 on the day. Runner bluffs. That one popped down the first base line. Going to be a tough play. There's no play, actually. As Rideout gave it chase, but to no avail.
So Johnson's already got a multi-hit game tonight. Sonny Cortez with plenty of speed over there on the first base bag. And in total so far this season, 13 out of 18 on the base pass for Sonny Cortez, as he's second behind his buddy Dobson in stolen bases on the team.
The 1-1 to Johnson. Runner bluffs once again. Cortez trying to fool with Hensley, and Hensley just not having it. 2-1 on Johnson.
Normally in a scenario with a base runner on first and then a batter up at the plate, you get an opportunity to try and get a ground ball that could lead to 2, but with the speed combination of Cortez and Johnson, not an easy feat. But meanwhile, you throw the third ball of the at-bat. Now you're in limbo of throwing a walk and allowing runners to get to first and second. And finally, we're starting to see somebody get loose in that bullpen in right field, as they hadn't been to start this inning with Hensley coming in over 100 pitches.
And you'd love to see him get through this inning somehow, but it's going to be tough. Ball 4. Johnson's aboard. Cortez to second. And things getting a little dicey once again. And you're just one gap shot away from essentially ending this game. So now the infield for the Unicorns will converge.
So Skip Essien going to go out there and I believe take Hensley out of this ball game, but we'll get you his final line if this is in fact the day for him.
It may just be give your guy a chance to warm up a little longer. You may be going to the bullpen right now. Let's see.
So that'll do it for Hensley. Another good outing, not exactly how he wanted it to go in terms of the numbers, but if you look at it, he gave up one more hit than his team has at this point in time. But unfortunately for the Unicorns, they have 4 less runs. And we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll give you Hensley's final line and then give you some info about the guy coming in. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel.
Welcome back. Tyler Murphy taking the bump for the Unicorns as Ty Hensley departs. Hensley, all in all, did a pretty nice job. 6 1/3 inning, and just allowed those 4 runs. But he is responsible for the 2 men on base. That's in the gap, left center field. That's going to get down. That's going to be trouble. Curry cuts it off. 1 run is in. And, oh, man, that is a big-time hit, and that just deflates the Unicorns right there. And that run will be held responsible to Ty Hensley, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so 5 earned runs so far.
Tough spot there for the Corns. New guy coming in Murphy, just his 4th outing of the year. First time he's pitching against Westside this season. He's had 3 separate outings, twice against Diamond Hoppers, once against Birmingham Bloomfield. All 3 of his outings were 1-inning affairs. In total, the 3 innings on the year, he's allowed 4 earned runs on 7 hits, and he's got 3 walks to 3 strikeouts, so not the greatest of numbers, but obviously a small sample size, as either way, this is a very tough scenario to sit in if you're Utica.
No doubt about that. Williams, a chance to add on another run and also add on to Ty Hensley's final line. Good, how are you? That one lofted down the left field line, foul. It's really starting to feel like fall.
Yeah,
It's been
no doubt.
It's been a great summer, but it is fall now.
Yes,
There's football on TV, and you can feel it in the press box. It is chilly.
We are transitioning into the month of September, last day of August here, and Mammoths looking to end up on top at the end of the regular season.
Swing and a miss there. Or did they tap it foul?
Nope.
He is out. So 2 outs. Williams retreats to the dugout. And Kitson back after it looked like he injured himself earlier in the game. Foul ball off his foot, but he has recovered nicely. Between Kitson and Whisker, those are 2 guys who have just been on a tear lately. You were saying something in one of the breaks about how many home runs has Whisker hit this month?
Yeah, so Ethan Whisker this season, obviously he has now 14 home runs, tied with Nick Wilson for most home runs in the USPBL in a player's entire tenure in the USPBL, but he was at 2 home runs at the All-Star break, which means, of course, doing the math, 12 home runs in the second half of the season.
Base hit, another run comes in to score. That is big. Kitson extends the lead even further, and Utica is staring at second place right now, unless something changes in a hurry. Barbie comes in. Still runners on first and second. There are 2 outs, but it was 3-0, and they have doubled it since then, and that has really opened the gates here. Barbie 0 for 2 with a walk. That's a base hit, and wow. The Mammoths are pouring it on. Another run in to score. It's Ethan Whisker this time. Kitson appears to be injured at second. Is he just stretching? Let's see. Something's going on down there.
A little extra on the slide, maybe.
But whatever the case is, the Mammoths are pouring it on, and they are proving to the rest of the league right now that they're the best team. It's not over yet, but they're proving right now that they are the best.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the starter, Dan Williams, did plenty to get his team into the right spot. Offense coming through with runners on tonight. Whisker, again, with another home run. I mean, everything that you want if you're a Westside fan. Your big guys are stepping up at the right time. Pitchers are doing enough to keep Utica off the board through 7 innings. Everything clicking for Westside tonight.
That one appeared to be in the zone, but may have been a tad low. 2-0 the count on Jake Polshin, who has yet to get into the fun. He's 0 for 3.
Like I said, everything going in favor of Westside, even some of those close calls.
Check swing. Looks like he went. No, he did not. 3-0. That's in there for a strike. 3-1 the count. Fouled straight back. Run the count full now, 3-2. He was warming up.
Warming up. I don't know.
So Kitson, who we thought was injured earlier, is now coming out of the ball game. So pinch runner Webb Little is the pinch runner. Polshin, the 3-2. Ball 4. The bases are loaded now. And believe it or not, this could get even uglier.
Yeah, a little salt in the wound now is, you know, it's tough. Ty Murphy, not a lot of outings on the year, coming in after not really having a good outing so far this season. Allowed at least 1 earned run in all 3 of his stints so far. And allowing a couple here tonight as Hensley obviously ended up getting, some extra runs allowed after those runs came in after he came out of the game. And pardon me, Webb Little's brother is on the base pass. Webb Little is now standing up to the plate.
So Webb Little fouled one down the left field line. So it's 0-1. Another one of the Mammoths who has yet to get a hit today. Check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. 0-2. And Murphy one pitch away from finally ending this bottom of the 7th. And it's really cemented this game so far. The 0-2. That one misses upstairs. If you want to be positive and you're a Unicorns fan, there have been crazier comebacks. You still have 6 outs to go, and you never do know. So stay tuned. The 1-2 bounces in. But, man, oh, man, these Westside William Mammoths have done a fabulous job in this huge game, really in all facets, defensively, pitching, and we've seen it.
So, quick update as the Minnesota Twins.
Webb Little. Yeah, we'll
can
set
stay
the
in the air. We can stay in the air here for a second. So, why don't you explain the scenario there, Drew?
So, the first player in the USPBL to make the MLB, he's on the Minnesota Twins. He worked his way through the farm system. He's pitching in Detroit, just about 25, 30 minutes from Jimmy John's Field, where he really got his second chance, and this is awesome.
Yeah, Randy Dominic, he was a Division II athlete, of course, undrafted, unnoticed throughout the time in college, and came to the USPBL hoping for, some type of opportunity, tried out, not only made the league and got tossed onto the Unicorns roster, was here for just 6 weeks in the league. He ends up getting picked up by the Minnesota Twins organization, played rookie ball for the remainder of 2017. Start of 2018 season, he gets put onto the high A ball roster. He ends up playing for that team the entire 2018 season. Comes back with them in 2019. He goes from single A to double A to triple A to the pros, 3 separate promotions.
That just doesn't happen.
It never happens. It never happens, ever. That is something that you see happen over the course of maybe 2 years, but
if it
never
does
in
happen,
one season.
It's a top prospect who's flying. He's going to fly through the farm system. This is a guy who got overlooked, joined the USPBL, quickly got signed by the Twins, but he really did fly through the system, and he just recorded a strikeout. So, and unfortunately, Miguel Cabrera, if you're a USPBL fan, Cabrera did just single off of Dominic, but just an incredible story.
Yeah, he made his MLB debut a couple of weeks ago in Cleveland against the Indians. Came in the 6th inning when the Minnesota Twins were down 6-1, and the Indians did not score any more runs in that game. He allowed no runs in 4 innings, did scatter 6 hits, but when you have no runs allowed over 4 innings and no walks, he did have 3 strikeouts. That's quite the debut. He did get sent back down, but he came back up, ended up recording his first save ever. Hadn't had a save professionally. He had, I believe, a couple in college, but he ended up having his first ever professional save. Didn't have any in the USPBL as he was a starter for the Unicorns, but this is a very, very cool sight to see, having him pitch just down the road in Detroit as a professional player, all the way from where he came from just 2 years ago here in Utica.
Well, the Unicorns, referring to the game going on right now, the Unicorns get their at-bats in the top of the 8th inning, still trying to make something happen, but yeah, I can't overstate. It's just an incredible story. And to be pitching in Detroit tonight, and he will be in attendance tomorrow, so I've heard, as Latona lines one to left for the first out of the 8th. But he'll be in attendance tomorrow, so that should be fun. And just kind of coming full circle.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the Tigers and Twins will play at 1 o'clock tomorrow, and luckily enough, You know, there's things that you can plan in life, other things you can't. Tomorrow is our only Sunday night game, so it fits to where Randy will be able to, you know, stay with the team tomorrow, and then as soon as the game ends, he'll be able to make his trip down here to Utica and have it come full circle as he gets his second strikeout in the 8th inning, and not an easy one to get. He just got it against Ronnie Rodriguez, who had 2 home runs already tonight against Tigers pitching, or against Minnesota's pitching.
There's a towering pop-up, still in the air, finally comes down. And they are showing right now on Fox Sports Detroit the story of Randy in a Utica Unicorns uniform. So that is awesome. That is so cool. Ashton Bardzell at the plate. And he may just strike out the side right now. That is Randy Dominic.
He did give up the one single, but hey, it's to Miguel Cabrera. You'll tip your cap and continue on. But overall, just an incredible story from Division II college athletics to independent baseball, all the way to the pros in a span of 3 years. Just incredible stuff.
The 1-1. In there for a strike.
So McKendall hunched over, trying to get the strikeout to knock the Unicorns out in order here in this top of the 8th inning. And it's been a abysmal night offensively for the Corns. They got 6 hits through the first 7 innings, but unable to really string anything together as McKendall trying to shut the door here in this 8th inning as that one misses downstairs, brings the count full.
More than anything, you don't expect that in a game like this. Maybe if it's June and you don't need to win it, that's one thing, but this is the biggest game of the season. That one tapped to short. Dobson waits on the high hop, throws across the diamond in time to retire the side. So once again, this Mammoths defense and pitching staff has done a fabulous job. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Westside Woolly Mammoths can sense it. They are 3 outs away from being the regular season champs. We'll be back with more on the USPBL YouTube channel.
$27.14.
Welcome back. New pitcher for the Unicorns. It's Dawson.
Yeah,
He faces Dobson.
Yeah, Luke Dawson for the Unicorns. Just his 4th outing of the season. Same kind of scenario as we saw just recently there with Tyler Murphy. But Luke Dawson on the year, 3 innings of work in the 3 outings. Same scenario as Murphy. But in the 3 innings this year, he's allowed 3 earned runs on 5 hits, 2 walks to just the 1 strikeout. Batters are hitting .357 against him, so not much better here for Utica in this scenario as the Mammoths with their top of the order up at the plate.
Once again, great job by the Mammoths tonight in all 3 facets of the game, pitching, defense, and hitting. And they haven't earned the win yet, but they are well on their way as that's ball 4, and Dobson is aboard, so things could get worse for the Unicorns. Sonny Cortez, a part of that 1-2 punch at the top of the order. Looks at strike 1. Would you say it's safe to say that they're the best 1-2 punch in the league? Dobson, Cortez? At the top of the
order, darn near. No doubt. No doubt about it.
That one on the ground could be 2. 1, the relay will not be in time. So Ethan Whisker's home run, the 25th of his career, came off the bat at a whopping 110 miles per hour. 110.
It's crazy stuff, man. Boy can hit. The boy can flat out hit.
Will Johnson, one of the guys in this game who has done some damage.
Johnson, a great night so far, 2 for 3 with the 2 singles, also the walk to his credit.
That one on the ground sharply. This could also be 2, but momentarily bobbled, still has time, and they did, in fact, get the double play. So Will Johnson hit it so sharply that Adam De La Cruz was able to bobble it and still get away with it, flipped it over to Bonneke, and Bonneke to right out to finish off the double play. So top of the 9th, last call time. The Woolly Mammoths 3 outs away from a regular season title. We'll be back for the finish on the USPBL YouTube channel. Unicorns down to their last 3 outs. And the Mammoths are oh so close to claiming a regular season title. And in turn, would get a bye to the championship. Let's see if Colin Rideout can get things started and start this last rally. This one driven to center field. Pretty deep, but not deep enough. Corralled in for the first out of the inning out in center field. So 2 outs to go. And it'll be Kyle Orloff at the plate. Excuse me. Jack Dennis will pinch hit for Orloff, who had a nice night.
And I'll tell you what, McKendall, who came into this ball game to start the top of the 7th inning, obviously, in order to get a save in this great game of baseball, your team needs to be up by 3, or you pitch the last 3 innings of the ball game, exactly what Randy Dominic did just a little bit ago for the Minnesota Twins organization. Ben McKendall trying to do that here and get the Westside Woolly Mammoths straight to the championship game next Sunday.
Swing.
Just 1 out away from it now.
Swing and a miss there from Dennis, and the Mammoths can almost say it.
You can smell it. You can taste it.
And what was one of the biggest games in the history of this league in the regular season, it has been dominated completely by the Mammoths. And if you are the Unicorns headed into the playoffs, yeah, you're in the semifinals, but you have a pretty sour taste in your mouth. John Seachin at the plate. Oh, dear. Swing and a miss, and the bat went flying. 1-1.
And for John's sake, I'm just happy that that wasn't strike 3.
Embarrassing enough to throw your bat. Having it be strike 3 is even worse, but 1-1 the count. The 1-1. Fly ball, right field. Whisker under it, makes the catch, and the Westside Woolly Mammoths are the regular season champs, and they can finally celebrate. A season that started in May and has finished on the last day of August is now, the season is now over. The regular season, that is, for both of these ball clubs. And wow. Can you say domination? And that's exactly what it was for the Mammoths.
Yeah, at no point did the Mammoths feel uncomfortable. Got out to the early lead as they got 3 in inning number 1. And throughout the rest of the game, they kind of were put on cruise control. And got to give credit to the starter there for these Westside Woolly Mammoths. Dan Williams ends up doing a tremendous job tonight, as he ends up getting those 6 innings in for these Westside Woolly Mammoths. And overall, I mean, Ethan Whisker, that MVP case, almost getting locked in with his performance, not just tonight, but last night as well. Back-to-back nights and back-to-back games that the Mammoths really needed to, prove themselves with here. They've been playing the best baseball as of late, but they were still chasing the first-place Unicorns over the last couple of weekends. And I'll tell you right here and now, Westside ends up getting the first-place spot. Will be the team that waits for the rest of the teams to kind of figure things out. But with the Mammoths winning tonight, your final score 7-0 over Utica. Westside will end up in first place, and you'll hear it right here.
And wow, what an exciting finish it'll be.
So you just heard the final lines there from our PA announcer, John Grab, but we'll stick with the announcing on the field. Let's head down to the field for Matt Derry with not just the player of the game, Ethan Whisker, but the entire team with the Westside Woolly Mammoths.
Brought to you by Orloff. We're all taking this picture without you, but congrats on the win, man. And what does the 1 seed mean?
You know, that's huge for us. The way we started out the year pretty soft. We came back, especially after the All-Star break, and just kept putting wins together, having quality pitching starts, and our lineup is the best one in the league, as you can probably tell right now. So we're excited for Sunday.
See these guys behind you. They are, obviously full of life and a lot of energy. It seems like a tight-knit group. How special is it to win with this group?
Yeah, for sure. I think this is the closest team that I've been on since I've been in the USPBL. Like we're all rooting for each other. There's no individuals on the team, and we all just come out here and try and have fun. So
you tied the home run record. Were you trying to hit a bomb there up 3-0?
I wouldn't say I was trying to. I was trying to just hit the ball hard and put a good swing on it, and it went over the fence. So it was fun.
All right, go have fun with these guys.
Yeah, thank you to all my friends and family that came out.
So you just heard it, Ethan Whisker, not just the player of the game tonight, player of the weekend as the Mammoths secure the first lock seed and will move straight to the championship next Sunday as they will wait to see exactly who they will play. Eastside Diamond Hoppers on the far side of things. They finished the season dead last in 4th place. They will take on the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers in the play-in game next Friday. That'll be the game that is on tap for tomorrow. Drew, I know you're going to be on the call. Technically, it won't mean anything tomorrow, but you can still kind of see, kind of a preview for what we will see this upcoming Friday. And then the winner of the game on Friday between Eastside and Birmingham Bloomfield will take on the Utica Unicorns on Saturday for the semifinal. And then eventually the winner of that game will take on these Westside Woolly Mammoths on Sunday for it all. I'm assuming that either Dan Williams or Matt Cronin will be getting the nod in the championship on Sunday. But either way, Ethan Whisker leads the charge for Westside as they win this one by a final score of 7-0. Drew Kell, your final thoughts on a pretty exciting game for Westside as they secure the locked seed for first place?
Well, yeah, Westside just absolutely dominated. I said it many times, all 3 facets of the game, pitching, defense, and hitting. But Ethan Whisker impressed me as he's been impressing us really all month long. But the beauty of this league, you got the Diamond Hoppers in last place. All they have to do is win that one game next weekend, advance to the semifinals, and all you have to do from there is win another game, advance to the finals. So your record is thrown out the window next weekend. But I will say this, tomorrow's game, while it may not mean a whole lot in the standings, who's going to be playing in that play-in game, if either team, if the Beavers dominate, if the Eastside Diamond Hoppers dominate, you kind of have some momentum going into that playing game. But it should be a fun one. And this was a fun one if you're a Mammoths fan. And if you're the Unicorns, it's, back to the drawing board. You're still just one game away from the finals. Get revenge against this ball club who really had their way with you tonight. But overall, fun night at the ballpark. You can kind of tell playoff baseball's in the air. It's cooler, fall weather. That's what it's all about. So it's been a fun season overall.
So again, your final score here tonight: Westside blanks Utica 7-0. They lock in the number 1 seed and go to the championship this upcoming Sunday. Utica falls to 2nd place. We'll play in the semis on Saturday. But for Drew Kell, my name's Rich Borland. Drew will be back on the call tomorrow for the Beavers and Hoppers in action. First pitch at 6:05.
Yep.
As I'm used to saying 1:05 for a Sunday matinee contest, but tomorrow night the teams will be in action. Former USPBLer Randy Dominic, the first player to make it to the show, the man who struck out the side against the Tigers tonight outside of a base knock to Miguel Cabrera, will be in the house, not just to kind of reminisce on where it all began professionally for him, but he'll be here signing some autographs and doing some meet and greets with some fans. So if you don't have a ton to do tomorrow night, come on out to the ballpark for not just a fun night of baseball, but an opportunity to meet Randy Dominic, Minnesota Twins pitcher, who, again, has just been an ultimate explanation of what this league is all about, trying to get these players to the next level. But the conversation transitions into Sunday night. The last regular season game will be in action tomorrow. Again, Drew Kell will be on the call. But for him, my name's Rich Borland. We'll send it off to you, and you stay classy, Utica. Have a great Saturday night.